What's up guys, mine's Runefire, and what you're seeing now is a thumbnail. I don't know why I'm just showing a thumbnail. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about plants, cultivate, and harvest, or greenhouse as it's called in three houses. Although most of the major ideas is going to be pretty much the same, there are some things that differ, such as... what is it? Even just planting one... I think I'll explain that when we're doing the actual tutorial. Also, cultivating is free in this case, instead of paying for it in three houses. That's basically the only differences. Alright, let's get started. And to those of you who are celebrating Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. I'm one day early for when this uploads, but I'm just getting this out of the way in case you do happen to leave the video. Alright, let's actually get started. Considering this is quite possibly the most difficult tutorial by far, we're going to be breaking this up into very simple steps. Our first step is discussing the variables. Actually, no, we're going to discuss the items first. So, there are quite a few items we have to discuss. There are like 9. You'll probably want, well, Farm 3 Houses has a lot more, but in this case, each seed will produce 2 types of plants or crops. Violet seeds will produce blueberries and grapes, green seeds, pepper and broccoli, red seeds, tomato and apple. I don't know how this makes sense in Farm 3 Houses, but oh well. These don't really make much of a difference, just know that they are tied to this, and now we will go discuss the variables. Alright, we're gonna take care of the variables, and they're gonna be doozy because there's like 16 of them. I just counted. Yeah. Let's just use this random event I just made here. This is my second recording of the segment, so yeah. Number of max plant. This isn't too important, but if you see my activity point tutorial, this is what is used in case you want to reset the day. However, for this specific tutorial, I don't actually use this variable. That's one thing to know here. Number produced violet, green, and red. This is how many that's going to be produced in total. It'll be more important at the end and more easy to explain. Number violet seed, green seed, and red seed. This is so that we can check how many we have in our inventory. Number of seed. This is how many of each seed that we're going to be inputting using the input number command, and well, how much we want to plant this seed. And we'll be checking if we have enough of that seed and if we're able to plant that many of that seed. Plantable is how many we're able to plant in total. So these two basically go hand in hand. These three just determine how many are planted in total of each seed. This is the number of total planted. This is important, but only for a very small segment. Number of base violet, green, and red. Okay, this one is kind of confusing. So each seed is going to produce 2 of each. And using the cultivate command, we'll be able to increase this by however many. So in this case, 1, 2, or 3. That's basically it. Okay, so last thing I want to say before we check the actual events themselves are what are these events even for. So we have this first one. This is our auto run event. It basically controls the variables such as max plants, however many you can plant, and as just mentioned, the base amount that these plants will grow. Here we have our event that gives us a seed of each type. Nothing too important. And this is the guy that's leading the entire operation in growing crops through planting, cultivating, and harvesting them. As you can see, this is what I'm gonna have to explain. Oh boy. And now for the valid commands, which I'm more than likely gonna have to record again and again. Alright, our auto run event is just setting the variables. We want to set max plant to 3 in case you want to reset the day, and plantable to 3 so that you can show how many you're able to plant. This lady just gives you every single seed. That's not too important. However, this knight here is where the bulk of it is gonna have to come to play. Now I just recorded this section and it took me 7 minutes, so I want to try to speed this up as quickly as possible. We're gonna be using basically my favorite plugin when it comes to tutorials, Disable Choice Conditions from HumanWorks. And we're gonna set this label beginning. I'm not sure if that actually comes into play, but oh well. Now for this part I actually got very confused. But if this switch, which is actually switch 22, I'm pretty sure. Yes. If switch 22 is on, then disable choices 1 and 2. That'll be important later. Otherwise, this will be happening for the first 2 choices. If switch 21 is on, then you want to turn off choice 1. If it's off, turn off choice 2. If switch 22 is false, so the same switch used here, choice 3 will be disabled. Little text box. show choices plant, cultivate, harvest, or cancel. Cancel will be used just to exit this entire situation, because otherwise you can just make another choice saying end planting or something. We're gonna have this very important label, plant more. That way, if you have remaining, if you can plant more seeds, you'll just jump straight back to this. However, using this conditional branch, if you can't plant any more seeds, you'll be sent to a little section right here, which will be very important. Alright, if we choose plant violet seed, just so you know, violet, green, and red are basically the same thing. The party has one violet seed, but if they don't, you do not have any in the seed, and you'll jump to the label plant more. We'll control variable 33, number of violet seed, to the number of violet seeds you actually have. It should be in the item category, I'm pretty sure. How many violet seeds would you like to plant? You'll input the number for the variable number of seed. If number of seeds is greater than violet seeds, number of violet seeds, so if you want to plant 5 violet seeds but you only have 3 violet seeds, you can't because you don't have enough seeds. We'll control this variable for the input to 0 to jump to the label plant more. If the number of seeds is greater than the number plantable, so you obviously can't plant it because you'll run out of space, you cannot plant this many of the seed. Control C to 0, go to plant more. Otherwise, if all these check out, control variable plantable minus number of seeds, change your items of violet seed, subtract the number of seeds that you input in number using the input number command. Control the variable violet seed planted plus the number of seeds, so you can show how many you actually planted in terms of violet seeds. Control the variable of number of violet seeds to number of violet seeds you have now. Control the variable of seed to 0, as done in these previous ones. Jump back to the label plant more. So basically have the same thing happen for every single other seed, just change everything so that it's green red seeds. Now, if you hit cancel after during the plant, cultivate, harvest choices, it'll control the variables of the violet seed, the green seed, and the red seed. If the total planted is greater than 0, then it'll ask if you want to end the planting process because you haven't planted the maximum amount yet. If you end it, it'll end. It'll show how many seeds you planted. Control variable number total planted equals 0, so this variable that we use here. The control switch plant something to on, and it'll exit event processing. Otherwise, if it says do not end, it'll control the variable total planted to 0 again. So we want to reset this number and jump to the label plant more, so you can plant more. And I think, yeah, if you planted nothing, then it'll just exit event processing as usual. We're gonna set this label to end. So if you have 0 plantable left, then you'll jump straight to this event, which says the process ended. It'll show how many seeds you have, and it'll just control the switch. Basically the same as the previous set of commands, but simplified. Alright, I'm gonna go over the cultivate and harvest together because the last one, planting, was definitely tiresome. Alright, cultivate. How would you like to improve your harvest? Remember, this can only be activated once you finish planting. You can choose the choices insert soil, water plants, or spread Pegasus blessings. Each one will have a different effect. Insert soil, increasing your crops by 1, watering plants, increasing your crops by 2, and spread and Pegasus blessings, increasing it by 3. If you choose insert soil, it'll increase base violet, green, and red +1 and control switch harvest ready. And it'll just say what you did and exit event processing. Basically the same thing for the rest except with different numbers. Pretty simple. Once this is done, the only thing you can do is harvest. This is where you apply your cultivation effects. So number of produced violets will equal violet seed planted times the base violets. So if you planted 3 violet seeds and say your base violets is now 5 because of Pegasus blessings, you'll get 15. And that's a lot. Basically the same for all 3 types. We're gonna set this label violet seed produce. And basically the same for the rest of them. If produce violet is greater than 0, control variable -1. Have an RNG variable. Okay, I'm lying, there's 17 variables. From 1 to 2, because there's only 2 options here. If RNG equals 1, blueberries +1. If it's 2, then grapes +1. Then we'll jump to the label violet's produce. Otherwise, if it's not greater than 0 and there is 0, we move on to the next one. Basically the same thing, pepper and broccoli, tomato and apple. At the end of this, we're going to reset every single variable. Base violet, green, and red will be 2, violet planted, green planted, red planted will be 0. Harvest ready and planted something will be turned off. It'll say your crops have been harvested, check your inventory. Control switch, planted, done for the day. That is not necessary at all because I just didn't want to make a daytime thing or day reset thing. It'll just say you cannot plant anything else today. Needless to say, I'm pretty exhausted, so let's get this demonstration out of the way. Alright, so as our auto run event, again, we can only plant 3, and the base variable is 2 of each. We're gonna obtain seeds from the shady lady. A violet seed, a red seed, and a green seed, as stated before, several times. So that's this garden night, we're gonna plant 1 of each. However, we're gonna try to plant 2 violet seeds. So we don't have enough seeds. Now let's actually get enough seeds. However, we're gonna do something else. We cannot plant this many of this seed. So it does work. We're gonna plant 1 violet seed. We can plant 2 more. Plant 1 green seed. However, now we're gonna exit. And planting process, you can still plant 1 more. End. Planting process ended. We planted 1 violet seed, 1 green seed, and 0 red seeds. We're gonna cultivate. We're gonna spread 3 Pegasus blessings. So we should have 5 of each. So in total we should have 10 items. And we're gonna harvest them. So yeah, 1 blueberry, 4 grapes, 5 peppers. Alright, now let's actually plant. Okay, I guess I can't plant all of them, but you get the basic idea, right? It's basically the same thing, except I don't end planting process early. You just gain a lot more seeds. Whatever extra happens in the event processing only. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. This part is recorded before the demonstration. Even though the demonstration is basically preview, and right now I have a lot more energy than I did in the last few segments, so I'm just gonna use the energy right now. So yeah, please dual slash that like button and set ablaze that subscribe button. I'm trying something here, okay? Give me a break. Next time is gonna be on Friday because I want to get a tutorial out quickly so that I make it in time for November, because this is a November special thing. After that one on Friday, I'm probably gonna take a little break. As you can tell, I'm pretty exhausted. It's also 1:21 AM right now and I kind of want to sleep. Granted, I usually sleep at 4, but now I'm starting to sleep earlier. But yeah, see you guys and stay safe. And have a happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating it.